I am Wolf, leader of the SWE Wolfpack, and today we have a Division video featuring State of the Game, and we'll see what type of news they have for us. So let's jump right into it in about 7 seconds.
Welcome everyone to State of the Game for September 14th. My name is Hamish. I'm very, very excited to be back today. After Peter's crazy, exciting stream last week, I watched it while I was away. There's some cool stuff to talk about today. We've got Rogue 2.0 coming up, we've got Resistance, and we're going to be joined again by Terry and Keith over at Redstorm. But before we get over to that, we've got some updates from Peter about what's happening right now, some of the dates you've seen below, and that type of stuff. Peter, what do we got to get through before the exciting things?
Right.
Well, I mean, this is exciting.
Okay. This is exciting. I have a lot of information to go through really quickly, so we can get into the interview with Redstorm about Rogue 2.0 and Resistance. I know people are chomping at the bits. First of all, just want to point out there's a free weekend starting tonight at 7 p.m. CEST, so that's in 2 hours. Get all your friends to play. Realize that most of you already play, but get your PC friends to join us. Why not? First of all, 1.7.1, the new patch is coming out on Tuesday next week for all platforms at the same time. And yes, it does fix the RPM glitch. We had another ban wave that went out earlier this week. We will do at least one more. So remember, don't use the RPM glitch. It's bad for you and your account's health. So don't use it. The 1.7.1 will also fix the really annoying gun yamming bug that's been plaguing the game lately. So, yeah, that's going to be fixed as well. And as part of the lag investigation that we've talked about a couple of times on State of the Game before, a couple of really bad desync issues have been identified, and a lot of those are going to be fixed in 1.7.1 as well. So hopefully that's going to help a whole lot. But of course, I know you guys are looking at the ticker right now, and you want to hear news about Global Event 2, and it is happening on October 3rd. Global Event Assault, which was on the previous PTS, but yes, official start date is October 3rd. As you can tell, I have a lot of things to go through, so I'm running out of breath. And the PTS for update 1.8 is going to start on September 26th. So that's the week before Assault starts. Just to clarify a couple of things, as usual, it will be freely available on PC, but for you guys on console, here's how it's going to work, roughly. First of all, if you were on the PTS for 1.7, if you got an invite back then, you're set. You're already on the PTS. You will only have to download an update to it. Probably. You won't have to download the entire client again. That shouldn't be a thing, so don't worry about it. If you're in, you're in. We will be sending out more codes. I won't give any specific numbers right now. Things are still being finalized, and this selection criteria is also, we haven't nailed down 100%. We'll get back to you, but a lot more codes will be sent out. We're also looking at a couple of different alternatives how to do this, but yeah, just so you know, it's not over yet. But just one reminder, we were kind of bad at telling you guys this last time. Do remember to go to Uplay account and make sure that the box is ticked, which says that we are allowed to send you emails. Because if you don't have that ticked, we're not allowed to send you anything. So please do that. So that's kind of it. Assault, October 3rd. The week before that, PTS for update 1.8 starting. And with that, I'm going to leave over to Redstorm, Hamish, and Rogue 2.0 and Resistance.
Oh man, I'm excited about this one. We're going to cross live to Redstorm right now. Terry, creative director and lead game designer. Keith, how you guys doing?
Fantastic. Very good.
You ready for this one?
You?
I'm very well. I'm itching to go because we've got some really cool stuff to go through. Do you guys want to start with Resistance? I know people kind of have a little bit of a clue about what this is, but who were you thinking of when you were like, we're going to put this thing out? What's your target gamer for that?
PvE people. Yeah, anyone who has enjoyed PvE in this game so far. Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of the theme for the 1.8, separating, we've had Last Stand, we've had a bit of both. And it seems that we're taking a bit of a turn into pure PvE, pure PvP, right?
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. You know, with the Westside Pier stuff we went over a couple weeks ago, there's a lot of PvE stuff, you know, in the open world, and then that kind of leads you to Resistance, which is the big new PvE activity.
Awesome. So one of the things that we've talked about when in these types of modes that people are familiar with is the infinite nature of it. Is it truly infinite? Can you win? Can you finish it?
That's cool. We both took a drink at the same
I
time.
know.
Wow.
We timed it.
Perfect.
Yes, it is truly infinite.
All right.
There's a series of difficulty points the player will move through, which you can talk about, Keith, but we get to the point where you go through all that, and then we begin to buff the AI, you know, through a combination of toughness, DPS, and
Exotic ammo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are just in sync right now.
Wow, you guys are perfect. So
Yeah, thanks.
we're going to just show a video here in a second. But before we get to that, are there any checkpoints in this? So is it one life to live, start again type thing, or?
It's all about the group wipe and keeping each other alive, or if you're a solo player, the one life to live scenario, right? It's all about starting from the beginning and kind of building up a strategy to survive into later waves.
Awesome.
I mean, essentially, you know, you're moving through difficulties of the game, right? You know, I don't want to say too much, right? But
Sure.
you go through the hard difficulty AI, right? Then you go through the challenging AI,
Yep.
right? And so you're working through those. And if you die, you know, on challenging, then okay, you're going to do the hard one again. But
it's about going through those waves. You'll get really proficient at it, and then making better decisions early in the early game to help you survive when you hit those legendary and what we're calling endless difficulty. Because you will need it. Yep.
Awesome. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second, but I want to show people what this is about. So we've got a video that Peter's going to queue up in just a second. Can we take a look at that now? It would be awesome. Okay, here we go. We are looking at a part of the map that people may be familiar with if they tuned in last week. This is part of the Westside Pier environment, correct? What are we seeing on screen right now?
this is outside the Intrepid.
Okay.
And yeah, you have seen this before. We didn't want to necessarily show you everything just yet.
All right.
A lot of this mode is about exploring and opening up new parts. You will catch some things here, though. If you kind of look around, you'll see like these big flashing AR panels. Those are kind of calling out doors that you can use to open up new parts of the map. So
That have new
you'll see
things in
one.
them.
Yeah, those will have all sorts of new things for you to find, new places to fight, places to hold up.
All right. So it's not just about killing endless waves of AI. What other things will people find themselves doing in there?
I mean, it's about finding the best way to survive. That's the crux of it. We give you a lot of tools. Keith, go for it.
Sure. So, you know, people who played Last Stand will see that AI are dropping Shade Tech here, just like they do in Last Stand. But we've really like blown out what you can spend it on. So we brought back the fortifications along with a new type. There's a support station fortification you can open up. But we've also expanded the functionality of them. So now you can repair and upgrade your fortifications. So over the life of a session, you can dump more Shade Tech into these and take them, kind of level them up alongside you, and they'll start getting special buffs, like the turrets will start lighting AI on fire, the pulse will start giving you increased crit chance, things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, but after you upgrade, though, you have to pay attention to these things, because if they get destroyed, which they will, you have to start that upgrade process again.
Yeah, so it's, you know, once again, it's about making hard choices. Where do you want to hold up? What will help your teams build diversity? What helps you push further into later waves?
Yeah.
Awesome. We've got a little bit more of this video to go. They're looking at a boss wave right now. I saw another wave in there as well, which was, I think, a critical wave. How do those differ from the regular ones?
Yeah, so there's a number of these like special waves, and there's some cadence to this. So you'll start to sort of get familiar, but then there's a lot of kind of a little bit of randomness to keep you on your toes. Okay. So every 5 waves, you'll hit a boss wave, and that's how it's going to go up on the PTS, and we'll keep iterating based on feedback. But every 5 waves, you hit this boss wave. The bosses drop loot like they do in the open world, but it's also kind of like a milestone for you. So when you beat the boss wave, you'll see here, that's kind of a little mini mission complete. So you can never truly win this mode, But there are these moments where it's like, we did it. We pushed further than we've ever got before, and you're rewarded for that.
Right.
So is it fair to say
and then
that?
for the-
Sorry, you go.
Oh, no. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, is it fair to say that while there are no life checkpoints, there's kind of loot checkpoints? Is that loot that you get from the bosses safe?
Yeah, the loot that you get from the bosses, those are like the in-world drops are all personal to each player, but you're also going to get, like you just saw there,
Yep.
the direct-to-inventory rewards, and he got a resistance cache tier 1. So as you climb higher waves, you can go to tier 2, tier 3, all the way up to tier 5.
Yep.
And once you hit those tier 5, that's basically your best chance to get classified drops and exotic drops pretty much anywhere in the game. But it's going to be hard to hit those higher waves.
Awesome.
I think it's also worth noting that the bosses in boss waves, there can be multiple bosses that spawn. And as we've mentioned before on, I think, various sources,
Yeah.
you're going to see bosses from main missions that spawn. They'll have a chance to, Pharaoh will roll in there with his homies, and
That's
and
awesome.
Luray will be there, and they'll drop their loot. So you'll have an opportunity to get these things that I just never have the opportunity to seemingly get, even though I farmed Luray a billion times.
I saw someone in chat posted about the time limit that people saw on specific waves. How does that work? What happens if you run out of time on a wave?
So a lot of these waves, like the critical objectives, will have timers, and also the bosses have timers. They test different things. The critical objective is kind of testing you, kind of moving through the map and completing some objective. The boss is kind of a race for you to kill that boss, or how many bosses there are in the map at that time. And if you fail that, that's a party wipe.
Yeah.
So it's all about kind of getting prepared for those moments.
Yeah, DPS check. Hey, I think it's worth noting too that you can't just dogpile on the boss, or there's going to be, the what do you call them? The word I'm looking for is the ads. How about
Yeah.
let's just go
Yeah.
gamey?
Sure.
They're going to continue to spawn. So
Yep.
it's not like, all right, just let the boss walk around because it's Joe Farrow and he's slow as hell, right?
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, okay,
nope,
that's cool.
His support is going to continue to spawn, and not until you kill him will you have the opportunity to clear it. So it's about coordination and checking your DPS and strategy.
Yeah, and just like everything else in Resistance, okay, wave 5, we're going to hit a boss. You don't know what that boss is going to be.
Mhm.
You don't know what the ads that are going to support him are going to be, or where you're going to have that fight. So it's really about kind of keeping on your toes.
Yeah. Have you guys had any, in your testing experience, any brutal combinations that have shown up that you were like, wow, okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Yeah, there's some new bosses in here as well that
Oh,
people
really?
will find. Some bosses that like to deal out a little bit of shock.
Oh man.
Oh.
And I had the
Okay.
shock boss with some shock turrets. That was a pretty brutal combination. But those are the types of things we'll be tuning over the PTS.
Yeah,
Oh.
and the shock drones.
Shock drones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Just for a little bit of context, when you guys have been playing through it and stuff, what's the furthest you've gotten? Because if you're saying that there's difficulties hard, challenging, legendary, that would be up to what, wave 15? And then it
Yes.
starts the next difficulty scaling
once
after
you,
that, right?
Once you hit 15, you've essentially cleared the legendary difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're still changing these values, and you'll try it on the PTS, and we'll get feedback on that. But right now, it's once you clear wave 15, you've passed legendary, and we start buffing the AI, and it's very clear what buffs they have, so you'll know what you're fighting.
Okay. Can you also play this mode solo for people who maybe want to do it with solo or smaller groups? What's the deal there?
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Yes.
I actually think a lot of people will want to play it solo,
Okay.
and it's a real test of your own build, and you can still push pretty far.
Yeah, you just better have the right build.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Can we just go back to rewards for a second? You talked about how every 5 there's a boss, every 5 waves who gets loot. When you end a resistance cache, we saw earlier will drop. How are those scaled?
So right now, the way we kind of have it set up is that each 10 waves kind of pushes you into a new rewards tier, right? So you can go all the way to wave 50. We have never hit wave 50, but
Okay.
I'm sure
Someone's gonna do it.
will.
Is that a challenge? Is that
Hey.
confirmed?
It'll be like a day 1 thing, and then we'll have to tune in to make it harder.
We're gonna have to track world firsts on that for sure.
Yeah, but once you hit wave 50, you're kind of in this like resistance cache tier 5,
Okay.
and each different cache has a kind of a better and better loot table. So this means you're going to be able to get the exotics and classifieds from everything in the whole pool, and it'll keep kind of narrowing down. and that includes some of all the new exotics we're adding.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were just going to brush over that one. Just a casual new exotics.
Or just like, oh, by the way, the new exotics.
Yeah,
New exotics.
FYI.
When you say new exotics, do you mean weapons or gear?
Weapons.
weapons.
New
Yeah,
exotic
4.
weapons. 4 of them?
Yeah.
All
4
right.
weapons.
Are you,
4.
will you be able to tell us what maybe gun families those are in?
Sure. So
Yes.
there's a new exotic weapon set, and that's in the MMR family. So you have these 2 MMRs you can equip and kind of be like the ultimate sniper.
Hey, hold on, gamer guy.
Yeah.
Tell people what MMR is in case they don't know.
Marksman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marksman rifle.
Are
and
either of
then-
those bolt action? Just
No.
They're not
Oh.
bolt action, but there is plenty of bolt action love in 1.8. There's some good stuff coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's confirmed.
All right.
Then there's
I'll hold-
also an LMG because
Yep.
I love LMGs. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of a okay.
No. And then you can talk about the last one.
And then there's a new SMG as well.
A new SMG. Awesome.
Yeah, and these will all be up on that PTS start of the PTS.
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head what weapon, what type of SMG it is? Just for me.
Yeah. MPX.
MPX, yeah.
Oh,
It's based on the Sig Sauer.
okay. Well, that sounds interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I did not expect that. So you talked a little about 2 weeks ago when we talked, the dynamic spawner that you guys are introducing for Westside Peers. Is that one of the things that you guys are leveraging? And one of the concerns that I think people have when they're doing this type of random content, is it random every time? So for example, am I going to be playing it and then when I do wave 4 again, is it going to be the same wave 4 as I had last time, or is it going to be the same that I'll have recognized, or how is that spawner working behind the scenes?
So we want to put a bit of predictability in it. So, on repeat sessions, you can start anticipating things. So like early on in the early waves, there's more predictability, right? Let's say wave 3 is going to be your first critical objective. And wave 5 is going to be a boss. And wave 6 might be the wave that always introduces drones. You're going to fight a lot of drones in that wave. So there's these kind of milestones that you'll start to pick up on and make sessions feel familiar. But within that, there's still a bit of randomness. And then once you get higher and higher and start climbing into the higher endless waves, then it becomes a very kind of dynamic, randomized experience.
Yeah, we've injected some consistency, but like you said, we leveraged that new spawner to make it so the next time you play through, yeah, there's going to be differences. You might not see any Rikers, for example, or it might just be all rushers. Good luck, have fun. So there's a lot of dynamic elements to this game mode for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, so just moving on to the play spaces that are available for this mode. We've seen one of them, which people had seen previously. How many are there, and how big are they going to be?
3. There's 3
Okay.
total. They're called, there's the Carrier, right? And then we have one called the Pier 93,
Yep.
and another one called the Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these are based upon sort of the foundations of, we built on the foundations of the PvP maps that we made specifically. So they're in Westside Piers, but they're like 5 times bigger than the PvP maps.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to explore.
So say like on what you guys saw there, that pier space is one of the early sections that you unlock in the carrier map, but you can also get inside the Intrepid, get into the engine rooms, things like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so for people that are looking to, when they get into the PTS, how would they start a session? How can you queue for one of these things, or how would you start getting into a resistance mode?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of built it to be a new mission type, essentially, right? So you have your main missions and incursions, and now you'll have the resistance missions. So it works very similar to that. You just kind of walk in from the open world, and it kicks off, and you can matchmake at the meeting stone out front. So it's very familiar to what people are expecting.
Okay, cool. One other question that I had, do you need to be level 30 to do it? As with survival, you don't. You can get into that a little bit earlier. What about for this?
Yeah, you have to be level 30.
Okay.
Yep. The Westside Piers, it's kind of like that end game open world space.
All right.
And these are kind of nestled back there.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm sure people will have a lot of questions about resistance, and people will be able to experience it on the PTS very soon. What was that? 26th of September. And we're looking forward to seeing what you guys think about it as well. If you have
Yes,
absolutely.
ideas or those sorts of things, please get involved in conversations on the forums, wherever you want to have them. Twitter, Reddit, we want to hear what you think. Okay, I know why most of you are here, though. We want to talk a little bit about Dark Zone things. I see Terry's eyes light up when we talk about this. I know, right? So you guys dropped a bit of a bomb with Rogue 2.0 being a thing last week. All that we know is that there will not be friendly fire, and you will have to perform an action to go rogue. But it goes a lot deeper than that. Is that fair?
That's absolutely fair.
Yes.
All right.
Very fair.
Okay. So when you guys sit down and you're like, okay, we need to do Rogue 2.0. We want to make it better. What are the things that you're trying to accomplish with a feature change like this?
Well, the first and foremost, is keep the tension of the Dark Zone, right?
Yes.
It's a very important element of the Dark Zone. It's scary, and we didn't want to erase that tension. So that was number one. Job number one is keep the tension of the Dark Zone. Second one was get rid of some of the frustration that goes along with accidental rogue. Not fun, accidental rogue. And the third one was create a better gameplay loop for Manhunt, which is such a big part of going rogue, right? That's where you're supposed to get the biggest rewards, and really incentivize that system on both sides of the Manhunt.
Yeah.
So those are the three things we were going after.
I think on that note, so we'll talk a little bit about the mechanics of it. I know there's frustration about accidental rogue as well, but I saw a thread on Reddit earlier today about someone who was a little bit frustrated with someone just coming up behind them and downing them straight away. So there are some mechanics in there that might make that a little bit, you get like a small warning when someone goes rogue in your vicinity. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an immediate, tap and now someone's rogue and they can shoot you. There's a bit of a press and hold, interact to that. And, we're kind of dialing it in, like Terry said, to kind of keep the tension high, but give you a little bit of fair warning. So, Isaac will come in and tell you a player near you just went rogue.
Okay.
You will kind of hear all the sound effects going along with them. And if they're in your line of sight, you see kind of a full kind of UI treatment pass on, oh my gosh, that person in front of me is going rogue right now and they're going to shoot me in the face.
Okay.
It gives you a moment to prepare.
Yeah. And instead of right now, your moment to prepare is I lost a third of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear with everyone. This isn't, as an example, this isn't WoW PvP flagging. This isn't like you in a zone and you're toggling a thing saying, hi, I would like to PvP. Would you like to PvP?
I would also like to PvP.
How about you raise your PvP flag and then we can fight? No, this is, I'm toggling, I'm making a choice to go rogue. And once I do, I don't care about anyone else. I will, all the rest of the stuff stays the same.
It's about declaring your intent.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So it's not I have it on and I can PvP with other people that have it on and you don't have it on. It's just we're giving you 1 second to be aware that someone around you. We're giving you more signs and feedback that someone around you is going rogue, but you still have to keep your eyes open. You still need to pay attention. If someone walks up to your extraction, be cautious. And we're other balance changes that are going in to help you prepare. If you see them drop a turret, like maybe I'll do something to make myself immune to status effects. So there's just a preparation period now. It's still dangerous. I want to make sure that's clear to everyone.
Okay, cool. Well,
Absolutely.
we've actually got a little bit of a walkthrough video of how the whole rogue system, which people will be familiar with, but what happens after that is very, very interesting. Just before we cue up that video, to toggle on rogue, do you press up on the D-pad? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
All right.
press and hold, yes.
Cool.
Up on the D-pad, and I think PC is Shift-R by default, but you can map it to whatever you want.
All right. Props to Bound Diesel on Twitter who guessed that correctly. I saw that a little bit
Nice.
earlier. Nice one. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to play this video right now. We are running around the Dark Zone as it happens. Okay. So this is going to be, this first part, again, like I said before, is going to be familiar to a lot of people. And we'll get into what happens after that. So our group's just gone rogue.
Yeah, you have a moment now also to say, you get a message, someone in your group has gone rogue. Do you want to? You can now leave the group if you're like, no, F that, I don't want to
I'm
go
outta here.
rogue, I'm leaving.
Okay.
So you have that option.
Yeah, we hope this makes people do more pickup groups in the Dark Zone.
That's cool. It'll be very interesting to see. All right. So are either of you guys playing in this session here?
No,
We would be much better than this.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, let's just be honest.
All right. Shots
Yeah.
fired. About how big is the radius in which players who aren't rogue can see that someone is going rogue?
So it's kind of line of sight.
Okay.
So if someone is 100 meters down the street and they start going rogue, you are given a heads up on that.
Okay. So what would happen if I was like around the other side of the building? Are people going to see?
If you're around the other side of the building, you can try to conceal yourself a little bit, but they're still going to get the Isaac telling them someone went rogue. They're going to get all the existing signs and feedback, and they're also going to hear the audio treatment to, hey, someone's going rogue around me right now.
Okay. So our players are currently manhunt rank 5 now. So
Snap!
Chad has already noticed there was no timer on the manhunt. What's
Eyeballs.
talk us through this one a little bit.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, what we wanted to get rid of the I'm just going to run out my timer, right? It's not about that. Now it's about going manhunt and then increasing your rank. You can stay manhunt as long as you want. If you get to max manhunt rank,
Which is Manhunt 5. They just hit it right here.
yeah, then, at any time that you become manhunt, I'm jumping around a little bit, but just because of the video, when you reach manhunt, you're going to get an objective.
Yep.
And it's like, if you want your rewards, you need to go to this spot in the dark zone. It's random every time, and you need to interact to clear your status. You're essentially rebooting.
Yeah, you're hacking into those Shade Tech terminals that were sprinkled around the dark zone and resetting yourself.
Right. And so that timer, the duration of the timer, that's still all things we're playing with, but
Yep.
it's based on numerous factors like how many people are in your group, what manhunt rank are you, and
Yep.
it's about the people in the world trying to stop you from clearing your status at this particular location.
Because what's really important is that, before as a non-rogue, you would open up your mega map, you would see the flashes of rogues nearby. If someone got pretty close to you, maybe you'd get a notification on the mission tracker. Now, if someone hits manhunt, you get almost like an objective to go stop them if you want, right? You're not told exactly where they're going, but you kind of get a general area that they're trying to head. So if you're in a group and you're like wanting to hunt rogues, you can kind of rally up and go try to stop them. And it kind of creates these clashes. And like we're talking about in the beginning, creates actual loops for players in the dark zone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're not forcing you to clear your manhunt. There's no timer to fail it. You don't have to get up there in 2 minutes. It's just, hey, here's where you need to go, and everyone can see it. And if you want the rewards, I'm sure you guys saw on the screen, like manhunt caches, which are
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I saw chat going crazy over that huge slew of manhunt caches that dropped with a successful Manhunt 5 clear.
correct.
You get one manhunt cache for every manhunt rank that you have reached.
That's good. What can players expect from those caches?
The best. I mean, it's the gear that they want. It's a gear cache. There's a chance for exotic.
There's a
Hopefully,
chance for classifieds.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
And so the buffer you are, the more manhunty, right? The more chances you have to get the gear that you want.
And as a player, going after the manhunt, you get a bounty cache now too for every manhunt player you kill. So you are encouraged to get in there and PvP at these points if you want to get those rewards.
Yep.
Awesome. So who will be eligible for those rewards? Like if I see a bunch of people on the map have gone manhunt, right?
Yeah.
How much involvement do I need to have in taking out those guys before I get rewarded?
Participation.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to be participating, and you need to kind of be around them when they go down.
Okay.
You need to be there for the kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to be the guy that killed them. You just have to be participating in their demise.
Okay. I don't
Yep.
need to be in a group with the group that successfully takes them out.
No, there's no more that, this group kind of stole the bounty from this group, even though they were trying to work together.
Okay.
Now that friendly fire's off, it's Shades versus Rogue, and you can go in there and work together to try to take out the manhunt.
And it's all direct inventory, so you don't have to worry about extracting or anything like that. It's
Yep.
just boom, you got it.
That's really cool. I didn't actually know that one.
Yep.
That's awesome. I know that when you guys talked about last week the friendly fire changes to Rogue, a couple of concerns that were brought up were grenade spam and body blocking as being potential issues. So
Right.
on the grenade side of things, what's that going to look like for 1.8?
Well, the damage itself. Do you want to talk about the damage for grenades, Keith, and like rogues and non-rogues and stuff like that?
Yeah, previously a group of rogues, right? Like they could grenade spam the non-rogues and not be hurting themselves, and they kind of had this advantage. So now people from both sides, yeah, the shades can throw grenades at the rogues and not worry about triggering themselves as rogue.
Yeah, no accidental.
No accidental, right? We are doing lots of things to try to improve the grenade game, right? Like the classified final measure, which I think is just going to become a bigger and bigger part of group play. Makes it scary to toss a ton of grenades in because you're giving this huge buff to the other team.
It's astounding. In fact, we've talked about skirmish already. In the skirmish matches we play here in the office, people have stopped throwing grenades because that final measure buff, like you said, it's so potent and it's so worthwhile.
It can turn the battle
absolutely
really fast.
And so we have started just noticing all of our QC testers, people that know what's going on, stop throwing. As soon as you see that first one get absorbed, you're like, ugh, okay, nope.
It's almost like you throw a test grenade out. You're like, okay, yep, that's not our strategy right now.
Yeah, so that doesn't guarantee that you're not going to see it because short bows is still a thing, and it's the dark zone. So okay, who's got 6-piece final measure? But I'm just saying, we're definitely doing things, and along with status effect immunities and things like that, some of those grenades are going to be less guaranteed effective.
Yeah, the shock grenade won't be the easy kill.
Yeah, because you can
cleanse it.
Nice. So on the body blocking thing, I know people in the dark zone right now, you can have a situation where I die and I clear my rogue, and then I come back to my group who is rogue, and then I can kind of stand in front of my group and make things a little bit funky.
Right.
What does 1.8 mean for things like that?
Well, I think that's going to go the way of the dodo for a couple of reasons. First, okay, so friendly fire, that's gone. So if someone were to be able to stand in front, you could just shoot them all day. It used to be the risk was, oh, I went rogue, and now they're going to kill me, right? So that's gone on one hand. And on the other hand, we're adding essentially a radius. So imagine that you, Keith, and Petter and I, we're all in a group, and let's just say Keith dies, because not me.
Yeah,
right?
never.
And Keith dies, he's rogue, we're all rogue, we're being jerk faces. Keith spawns back to the checkpoint, and then he runs back to the group. What's going to happen now is he's going to get within a certain radius, and that's still being tuned. He's going to instantly go rogue. So he can't be non-rogue when he gets near his buddies.
Yeah.
He's going to go rogue in that radius. And that works the same for the manhunt stuff. Kind of for the inverse reason, but just when you get near your group that you're messing around with, you're going to go rogue. So you can't sit in this ambiguous position where I know you're a threat, but you're not activating rogue. None of that anymore.
It does a lot of things. I mean, it keeps the groups together with the same goal, right? If half the party wipes and the other manhunt players kind of want to start playing a little more cautious and hold back, they can try to get their group to rejoin them and take another stab at the actual clearing of the manhunt. And then it also helps in issues like this.
And of course you'll say, hey man, we don't even have to be in a group. Like I can just be on Xbox chat,
sure.
And we'll have a bunch of non-rogues blocking. Well, again, because there's no friendly fire, all that person standing in between you and me is doing is just blocking both of us.
Sure.
So he's blocking my bullets, he's blocking your bullets. So he's just prolonging combat. Sure, that will not go away, but there's no more accidental.
Okay, that's cool. I saw a couple of things, and I've got a couple of questions myself. Is there any reason to go above 5 kills while you're on a manhunt? Apart from bragging rights.
Yeah, from a reward standpoint, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at this point, right? You get, once you go 5, right? However you get 5, okay, that's going to be your max.
Okay.
So if you're looking to be efficient, after you get manhunt rank 5, go clear it.
There's a good chance you're going to finish with more kills though than 5, because once you
have to hold
get
them
to
off.
that objective, people are going to be there and combat will break out, and for you to complete the objective, you're probably going to be going above 5 kills.
Okay.
We did think about and entertain the idea that you had 78 kills? Great. We're going to scale the rewards, but that started to get ridiculous, and how do we take into account the guy that's 200 kills and stuff like that? So squinched it down a little.
And just to kind of add on to that, there are ways to scale your rewards outside of just getting more kills. The Banshee set, which will be in PTS.
Oh, you're doing wow.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
drop it.
Oh wow,
But
okay. We didn't plan this one. All right, let's do it. All right, Banshee.
It's just getting a pretty major overhaul, and the set now plays into all this new Rogue 2.0 gameplay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Including rewards.
including rewards.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, so like
that's enough for
basically
me.
Keith's saying, run a Banshee.
Run Benji.
I'm just if you're in a group of 4, run a Banshee,
Nice.
and then you'll see it.
Good to know.
Yep.
All right. One last question. Obviously, you toggle Rogue through using your D-pad or similarly on PC. What about cutting the rope? Does that toggle Rogue still?
Sure does.
It does.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just double checking. Thanks.
Stellar Rogue activity.
That was a question from our friend Morgan Amps. Hey man. All
Yeah.
right.
TF, what's up?
Yeah.
And that will increase your manhunt rank as well. It's a rogue activity, so you can bump yourself up by cutting the rope.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right. We could talk about this all day, but it's going to be a much larger conversation going on online. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are basically regulars on this show now. We're going to have to just make this a thing.
Okay, let's do that.
Thank-
Let's just talk all day.
I know.
Let's just talk all day.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's just talk all day.
I'm going to put the question to you now. Do you guys just want to do a podcast and we can just then not feel time constraints? We'll do that soon.
Love it.
Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. I like it. Thanks again, guys. We'll leave it there from you. But again,
Thank you.
we'll see you again soon. All right.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of Rogue 2.0 and Resistance information. Exotics. We've got so much happening. I can't even begin to talk about it. So you'll see a recap online, I'm sure. If you missed anything, there's going to be the past broadcast, and I'll make a podcast as well. But we should do a quick recap for the people that missed it. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of dates on the screen. Peter, do you want to take us through those before we head off?
Right, sure. There's a delay in these. Take those off because it's really confusing. All right, so I'm just going to run through the information I gave at the start of the episode. First of all, free weekend on PC this weekend, starting tonight at 7 p.m. CEST, so in about 1.5 hours. Get your friends to play. Hey, please. 1.7.1 is coming on Tuesday for all platforms, which means a fix for the RPM glitch. It's still a bannable offense. Don't do it. We did another ban wave. We're going to ban more people, so don't use the RPM glitch. I've told you now like 15 times. Don't do it. It will also fix the really annoying sniper rifle yamming issue we've had. So that's going to be fixed on Tuesday as well. And as part of the lag investigation, we found a whole bunch of desync issues between the client and the server. We're fixing those, or a bunch of them, on Tuesday as well, just so you know. Global Event 2 Assault is going to start on October 3rd. And the PTS for update 1.8 is coming on September 26th for all platforms. If you were already invited to the 1.7 PTS, don't worry about it. You're set, you're done. You will only have to download a patch for it. If not, we're going to send out more invites. We're also looking at alternative ways to get the invites out to you. And the selection criteria, though, we're still looking at that and kind of fine-tuning it and still discussing it. So we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, the September 26th, you'll be able to try Resistance, Rogue 2.0, and Skirmish, and give us all the feedback that you have before we go live at some point in the future. So yeah, I'm going to leave it over to Hamish to say goodbye now.
That's it. Basically, that's all I have to say. Thanks, man. I love that you've already created a meme, by the way. Thanks. We have a yamming meme, and it's not going anywhere.
Oh, crap.
It's fantastic. I'm very, very excited about that. Anyway, so yes, again, I'm going to be very excited to see you guys on the PTS. We have 1.7.1 coming. I'm not going to repeat everything that Peter said, but again, get excited. We're going to be back again every week on Thursday at 5 p.m. our time. We get that question every week. Like, are you guys doing a state of the game? Yes. Assume that it will always happen. Again, thank you again for tuning in. Thanks to the guys at Redstorm, and we'll see you again next week. See ya.
Alright, so that was State of the Game. And the new Rogue system looks awesome. so far, everything that I have seen looks awesome. And I can't wait to get my hands on it. So that's where we're at the moment. We will have to wait and see what happens. But as of now, I am Wolf, and that's where we're gonna be at. So, as always, I'll leave links in the description for my Twitter, where you can follow and keep up to date of what's going on, as well as my Twitch, where I am working towards streaming as much as possible at the moment. I am having a little bit of stuff going on in life that is making some things hard, but that's a story for another day. And as always, I'll catch you all in the next one, and I'll see you in the Dark Zone.